What is good, guys? It is almost 10 o'clock at night. I just got home from work. I went to the gym early in the morning. I worked 8.5 hours today. If you cared, you probably do not. Anyways, in the back there, I got some hash browns cooking in the back. My fat right now intake is super low. No trans, a little bit saturated. And super low, so I can afford to have a little bit of fattier meal at night while keeping it still under 90 grams of fat for my cutting. It helps me maintain while still building muscle, so I don't want to have too little fat, but I don't want to go overboard here for my cut. As you can see, leaning out really good. Here, I'm just going to quickly take you through the process of meal prep, what it would look like on a given day. This is a 1 day prior meal prep, not a week. When I go to college in September, it will be a week's worth, or at least 3 days split, just because it will save time and effort for more setting and gym progress. Okay, so I got a standard rice cooker here, or you can use a boiling pot. Google on how to cook that. So what I'm going to do here is my food scale. I was just investing in one of these. This one cost me $25. It was a little pricey, but I get the full use out of it. So right there, I'm calibrated. So to 0, got the oven right now cooking. It's preheating to 400 to cook the chicken. Here's the nutritional value, and then I'll figure how much protein I want in chicken tomorrow. So relatively, I cook my first 5 meals, and then I make the last meal, which is this one. If I have time when I come home. If not, I'll make that meal. In betweens, I will have shakes, so that's kind of my intermediate meal slash snacks. So I'm getting in between 6 to 8 meals a day. If I do have extra time, especially when I'm bulking, I will have up to 8 pre-cooked meals on top of shakes, just to keep my protein up, carbs, and fat. So I changed my mind. That's actually 361 grams. That's 8 servings of this rice. I found out that the carbs I was going to eat beside rice, I ran out of. So gonna bump that up now. So here we are. So quick thing, rinse your rice. You want to get all the crap out of there. I know a lot of people don't like to wash their rice. I like to wash my rice. And a tip for water, if it's just long grain white rice, what you can do is, instead of just measuring the water, put your finger on the very top, index finger, and then you want the water to fill to the first line in your knuckle there, and that will cook your rice perfect. That is an Asian Thai tip for you. Rice, if you have a rice cooker, it takes about 30 minutes. That's how long mine takes. I would really suggest investing in one of these. I have this for years. It's great for cooking rice. I might get a bigger one just so I can do a meal prep for the week. But right now, this little guy works great for me. There we go. Just spray a little bit of Pam or some non-stick cooking oil, and you're good to go. Just throw your chicken on there, and I would bake it for about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on your oven. I would always cut into the biggest piece to check if it's done. Check on it frequently, just so you can make sure that it's not too dry. No one likes eating carbs in cardboard. That's just gross. Okay, so the oven is 2 degrees away. There we are. We are done there. Season the chicken with whatever you like. You can season before or after. I do a little bit of both. Right now, primarily, I just quickly seasoned it, and then prep meal containers. So I find meal containers easier than plates, so even though if I don't eat out, I will use a container to eat at home. I just find it a lot easier. And here we are, my 5 meals. So this is generally when I'm going to be leaving, and these are the 2 I'll have at home. So this one is when I get up in the morning. And then I just have the chicken right there in the oven. That's going to be, I won't check it for another at least 35 minutes. And then we'll cut into it and see how juicy it is, or if it's dry and it's going to be a bad day tomorrow. At this time, I like to cook some eggs for tomorrow. I have at least 3 eggs a day. I try to keep it that much. I know that's a bit high on cholesterol, but I like 3 eggs a day, and it helps build muscles. Quick side note, if you have an iPhone or Android devices, download my FitnessPal app. It's free. I don't get sponsored, but it's just a great app to track your calories, macros. If you want to bulk, diet, maintain weight, it's great. I only use it to track my meals, and I put myself as an active person on there. I don't track my workouts on there. I just kind of wing it from there. Anyways, leaning out decently well here. This is late at night me. Not too bad, not losing size, so I'm happy about that. There we are, just pull out the chicken. I don't think it's too dry. We're gonna cut in here and see that. Let's make sure that it's all cooked and ready for our gains. Get your Asian knife, also known as a butcher knife, also known as a knife, and cutting board, because we're not animals. We cut stuff on a cutting board, not on the freaking counter. That's how you ruin stuff, guys. Also burning it, that's also how you ruin it. And then your parents will be pissed. Okay, so pretty much I just cut up all the chicken there. So what we're actually gonna do it now, we're gonna bring it over to my scale over here, but I don't want to put a plate on top of it so I don't have to wet the scale later. So we're gonna track on how much calories and macros we're getting from this piece of chicken. Make sure you got your nutrition fact right here on what they're giving to you by. This is for 100 grams, so we're gonna go off by that. So right here I got 505 grams. It's low enough. I'm just gonna round down from there, and now it's time to package all of it up. What I suggest is getting some sort of sauce. I have some salsa. I've been on salsa for a couple of days. Tastes pretty good. Just a little bit high in sodium. Drink more water. Even though I'm not going to show or taking it too seriously, it's alright to take it. I don't count the sodium, but I mean, I kind of play around with my body, see what works for me. So you got to see what works for you. This seems to be working fine for me, so it helps also make sure the chicken's not as dry. Okay, so stir around your rice, make sure it's consistent. It was a little bit mushy at the bottom, so make sure you stir it right. Use a plastic or a wooden handle to make sure that you don't scratch the bottom. It'll keep your rice cooker better shape in the long run, and it will save you money. Now it's time to package it. Now since we pre-measured the uncooked rice, we know how much it is exactly in there, and we only made enough to feed us for 1 day. So we know exactly the nutritional fact in this pot right here, the chicken over there. So it's almost time to pack it all up and get ready. But like I mentioned before, I like having 3 eggs, so I'm gonna cook up 3 eggs right now and put it in one of the meals. Eggs are coming nicely done. You could actually turn this off soon, and the heat in the frying pan will be enough just to cook it enough where it won't burn it, but it'll keep it a little bit raw, runny, and that's the way I like it. And then I'm gonna put it on rice. So I put the rice in the containers. Now it's just the tedious work of putting the chicken in there, kind of make it even out, kind of figure out what I want my heavy and lighter meals are, because at work you do get a shorter breaks and a meal lunch, so one will be a little bit bigger maybe, or they're all going to be the same size. It's kind of how I feel that day, and I may switch them around later on. So we'll just get the chicken on there and coat it with sauce, and then we'll add the eggs, and that is meal prep done. Now remember, this meal prep does not include my last 6th meal. I eat 6 meals right now while I'm cutting. I'm just trying to see what works for my body, and this is going pretty good. I'm keeping my body weight while getting leaner, so that's a very good news on there. If you are cutting, I would really suggest up your protein to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight, because you're going to be cutting down a lot of carbs and a decent amount of fat. You still need a high amount of fat just so you can still build muscle. Cut the carbs down, but make sure you have enough fat and not too much. So hover around 100, give or take 100 grams. Kind of play around with it, but remember, you do not need trans fat. Hey guys, so that is the meal prep for tomorrow. That's what it looks like. Now I did leave the eggs a little raw and runny just because when I microwave it, it will cook it up further. So now here comes the best and fun part, cleaning up all these dishes. So getting it soaked in the sink, getting it ready to go. It is 11 o'clock like I predicted. It takes me about an hour to cook. I want to down my last protein shake, and it is time for bed. If you like this video, thumbs up down below. It's free. Comment if you want to give me suggestions. Subscribe to follow me in my progress and be up to date on that. My Instagram's also down in the description below. If you want to see the update first before anyone, just follow my Instagram to see what I am up to. Anyways, stay shredded, guys.
Reach to the sky from the bottom, living up the dreams that have all came true. Now I'm trying to reach to the stars from the heavens.